We have a very tough schedule. We're looking to hopefully get through the early part of the season fairly healthy and with a couple of victories, and then just move on from there.
Now you got a team coming in today. Newport faces one of the most grueling schedules in the division, so they want to get out quick. You've got a pretty tough schedule to start off with. What are the keys today to defeating Newport?
Well, I think Newport's very similar to us in that they lost a lot of skilled position people, and a lot of young new players are going to have to step up and perform today for, I think, either team to be successful. In order to stop Newport, we always look for a lot of trick plays, counters and reverses and pass. They seem to have a big repertoire of that in their offensive scheme. So we really have to play some basic defense, stay sound on defense, and hopefully, be able to stop them in that manner.
Just before game time, who are we looking at starting today at the quarterback position, Downing or Francoeur?
Franco is going to start the game. Both quarterbacks will play because they both had good preseasons. Neither one is that far apart from the other, but Derek is kind of our key guy in the secondary, being the only returner back there. We've got some young kids back there with him, so we're going to try to settle those young kids down early by having his guidance back there in the secondary. So we're going to give Larry the start at quarterback.
Well, Coach, it looks like the football gods have brought the kind of weather that gets people thinking football. You excited for the beginning of the season, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Seems like, each new year rolls around, the excitement comes back. At Somersworth, a great tradition and pride, and, if you don't get excited here in Somersworth, it's, pretty difficult, not to get excited here.
All right, Coach, I'll let you get back to your team. Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Sam, well, like they said, it's a tradition of championships and titles here in Somersworth, and but a really balanced division, I think, in Division 4 this year, and a lot of teams that are going to have a shot at unseating Plymouth.
Well, year in, year out, players come to Somersworth, they play football, they come through the system, and they produce quality football teams every single year. So we're looking for a good game today.
And we certainly are, and I can't wait to get it started. It's the first game of the year.
We've got high school football coming up. It's the high school game of the week here from Somersworth High School on Channel 12 Sports. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
Throughout history, each breakthrough in the field of communications has made life more convenient and more enjoyable for all of us. And by bringing the world's most advanced technology to you, Continental Cablevision will take the next step. And you'll watch, inquire, learn what you want, bank, browse, shop, how you want, play, invest, communicate, and more. All this whenever you want.
Market took a hit today.
Yes, it's tough out there.
Oh, I don't know. That bar Cheers, it's packed every night. They're doing great.
I'm sure. My mutual fund is being mismanaged. I'm thinking of suing.
Oh, I know a great lawyer.
Really?
Yeah, Matlock.
Matlock?
Okay, he's a little old, but he's never lost a case. Undefeated.
Some people know CNBC is the first place for business news.
Oh, time for hard copy.
And some don't. CNBC, when you're tired of tuning out, tune in.
Welcome back to Somersworth High School. Sam Bruno, Jay Childs, all set for the kickoff of our 1995 football season here on Channel 12. And we've got a good one for you as the Newport Tigers come to Somersworth to take on the Toppers. Last season, Jay, the Toppers 9-2, losing to Plymouth in the championship game.
And they want to avenge that, and they've got some different players, especially on offense and in the backfield. Of course, it's anchored by talented man Lever. But other than that, there's some questions on offense. Early on in the season, they're going to be relying on the defense to get the job done. As for Newport, like I said in the pregame, they are facing the toughest schedule in Division 4. So they've got to get off to a good start this year, and the toughest start of all probably maybe starting here at Somersworth.
There's the kickoff. We're underway, and we have a whistle as the kick came down to number 44, Brian Holmes, and let's see if we'll do it again. So the season will be delayed here before we start things off. We'll walk back down the field. In the meantime, we'll tell you that the Tigers in 1994, 5-4 on the season under head coach Larry Carl. And according to Coach Carl, the offense is their strength. The defense is the weakness. We look at Jim Keys and the Toppers, it's just the opposite.
It's exactly the opposite. And as Jim was saying, he's going to be looking for some trick plays from the Newport Tigers and not to really come with as straight a game plan as maybe Larry Carl is talking about. They're going to re-kick the ball. No flag on the play, no indication of why the stoppage. Aaron Fellows is going to be waiting to pick up the ball along with Brian Holmes deep for the Tigers.
Troy Brown, number 28, approaches the ball, and we're underway. This is Brian Holmes. Brian Holmes gets an opening, breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet, and is finally brought down by number 57, Nate Durow for the Toppers. Good run back by Brian Holmes, and the ball will be spotted just inside the 40-yard line. Let's put it at the 38, where the Tigers will go 1st and 10, just underway here at Somersworth High School, opening game of the 95 season. In that Somersworth defense, in the middle is number 10, that's Joe Noel, and he's flanked by big number 78, Dan Porter. We'll be talking a lot about Dan today. At quarterback, we see number 25, Terry Robertson for the Tigers. First play from scrimmage, Robinson, long count, gives it to his fullback. That's Holmes again, and Joe Noel is the first person in there. Also getting off the stack, there's Dan Porter, and on the bottom, we see getting off, it will be Jeff Finney for the Somersworth Toppers.
Boy, you look straight up the middle, Sam, and Joe Noel, the perfect guy you want to have in there at the nose tackle position. Goes 195 pounds, but he's only 5'4". So he's got a nice low center of gravity and just explodes right off on the ball.
Wing T set for the Tigers on this 2nd down and 8. Somersworth defense anticipating the run. On the counter play, it's Holmes again. This time he goes off the right tackle. He'll pick up about 3 on the carry. In there on the stop for the Toppers, number 45, Jason Lever. And he's one of the stalwarts, Jay, for this Somersworth defense.
He certainly is, and he's going to be carrying most of the early season offensive burden in the backfield, so he's got a full day today coming up.
John Proper, number 70. He's the center for Newport. 3rd down and 5. Ball at the 45-yard line of Newport. Robinson takes a look at the Somersworth D, keeps it himself, looks downfield. He's got a man open, but the ball is going to be knocked away. The man was breaking into the clear. That was number 80, B.J. Stevens, and if that was a good pass, that would have been a long gainer, but instead it comes up now to 4th and 5.
Troy Brown diving to try to get the pickoff. You can see here, Richardson goes back and gets hit just as he releases the ball. So it goes incomplete, but you're right. If you had a little more mustard on that ball, there's a chance Stevens would have gotten to it, although Stevens, heading for the outside, fell down on the play.
John Proper will kick the ball. Anticipating the kick is Troy Brown, number 28, and number 6, Scott Hodgson. The snap is a low one. Proper gets the kick away. It's a nice one. Comes down to Troy Brown at the 23, 30. Brown hit from behind at the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Newport's B.J. Stevens.
Boy, B.J. Stevens all over the field and also polished off by Toby McDonald. And Toby McDonald is the real leader of this Newport team, primarily on defense, but really he is the character and the leadership for this team. You'll be looking for him to make a lot of sticks all day. Number 51 right here will be playing defensive tackle, 6'1", 227 pounds.
Center Matt Richardson out over the ball for quarterback Larry Francor. Straight T backfield for the Toppers on this 1st and 10. Off tackle, it goes to Hodgson. Hodgson slips and falls as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up maybe a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
Lost his footing on that play. He had a wall up ahead of him to get some good 1st down yardage. Leaves him in a 2nd and 9 situation.
Somersworth offense trying to come along now after scrimmages against Spalding, Milford, and Noble. And Coach Keys says the defense will have to carry the Toppers for a while. They did so in that last series. 2nd down and 9. Now they come out in a power I formation with Hodgson, the tailback. Francoeur gives it off tackle to Hodgson. He bangs forward, but is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage by number 51, Toby McDonald for Newport.
Well, there he is. Sniffed that play out beautifully and just attacked right up the middle.
Toby McDonald, a senior, 6'1", 227 pounds. Anchoring that Somersworth line, Jay, is Dan Porter, 78, and he is 6'6", 300 pounds.
He is a house, and they say for 300 pounds, he's got excellent mobility.
Richardson out over the ball, and now splitting to the far side is Ty Cobb for the Toppers on this 3rd down and long. Franker's going to put it up. Looking downfield, he's got a man there, and it's through the hands of Randy Sevigny, and it will bring up a 4th down, and the Toppers will punt the ball away to the Tigers.
Sevigny lighting up in the tight end position, able to kick off his man and head for the outside, although he was still 5 yards short of the 1st down and headed out of bounds. Probably would not have been able to get the 1st down had he caught the ball. See right here, go back and just headed to the sidelines. Even if he makes that catch, it's a 4th and 5. As it is now, it's a 4th and 8.
Tough catch when you've got to put your hands up like that to catch that ball. Now it's going to be Troy Brown. He'll get this kick away from his own 25-yard line. Gets a good snap and gets a nice high kick away. The Toppers will let it bounce, and there was a Tiger right near the ball, number 43. That was a close call, but it's going to be down by Somersworth at the Newport 35-yard line.
Ty Cobb, very heads-up play there as you saw the ball bounce, and it was heading towards the side. Decides to down it with the Newport Tiger right in the area.
So the Topper defense, after being successful on the first series, will now get another opportunity as the Newport offense splits twins to the near side. Coach Keys says he was worried about Newport's ability to pull off the special trick play. They're an unpredictable offense. On the counter, right up the middle, nice big hole to Brian Holmes. Holmes cuts away and breaks a couple of tackles and is finally brought down by Scott Hodgson. And my goodness, we are seeing some strong running here from junior Brian Holmes.
Well, you see how fast he is once he gets through that line and how powerful he is. Derek Downing, number 7, has an excellent shot at him. And look at how he just blows right through him, right by him, and finally dragged down by Scott Hodgson.
Clock rolling, 7:40 to go in this opening period. No score here at Somersworth High School. 1st down and 10, Newport in Somersworth territory for the first time at the 43-yard line. Robertson off tackle and crunched in the backfield. The first hit was by Randy Sevigny. The closing hit was by Dave Eldridge for the Toppers.
Boy, Sevigny lines up right on the line. Defensive end, he stands up, doesn't go down into the crouch position, and it just explodes through. Got a piece of him, and then Dave Eldridge, number 69, finishes him off.
2nd down and 14 now as the ball moved back to the 47-yard line. Split to the far side is Patrick Zulo for Newport, and quarterback Robertson takes a look at the Somersworth D and now will drop straight back to pass. Looking downfield, over the middle, incomplete. The ball was behind the intended receiver Zulo, and this will bring up a 3rd and long.
Straight cross pattern to Zulo coming across the middle of the field, wide open. Robertson once again not quite able to put the placement on the ball, the touch on the ball. Those are the things that you work on early in the season as it was thrown behind Zulo, but that would have been a big gainer had Robertson hooked up with him.
57, Nate Durow, Joe Noel in the middle of the Somersworth line. And take a look at this defensive setup here, Jay, for the Somersworth Toppers, as they are really anticipating the pass. They've got a lot of people 5-6 yards off the ball as they expect Robertson to put this ball up. 3rd down and 14. Twin receivers to the near side. Looking downfield, here's Joe Noel, and he's going to be the first man there, and that ball will not get off.
Excellent job that time by Noel because he hit him, had a feeling that he didn't really have him straight up, so went right for the legs. Take his legs out. See here, number 10, Joe Noel right up the middle, gets an arm on him, and then just grabs for those ankles, and the rest of the Toppers, a sea of blue, just finishes off Richardson. So after an impressive run by Holmes, the Tigers go nothing but backwards, and the Toppers are going to get the ball back.
John Proper all set to kick. It's Hodgson and Brown back at their own 30-yard line. 6:09 to go in the quarter. The kick is a good one. It's sent Hodgson back to the 24. And he's not going to go far on a nice special teams play there by Travis Ash for the Newport Tigers.
Ash, who plays right guard on offense, stays in on defense and able to weave his way through the crowd and get an open field tackle to set the Toppers back at about the 28-yard line to start off this series.
Toppers were 3 plays and out on their first series and start this series at their own 27-yard line. Francoeur, the sophomore, is the quarterback. Quick hitter up the middle. Oh, there's no room in the middle of the Newport line as Toby McDonald, anchoring that defense, made the stop.
Well, Dan Porter, coming quick off the ball, opened up a very small hole real quickly. And the Newport Tigers did a good job there of helping out and plugging it up.
The offensive line, a strength for the Somersworth Hilltoppers, and they're trying to get their game in line right now.
From what we've seen so far on both teams, very impressive 300-pounder in Dan Porter in terms of his coordination and his mobility.
2nd down and 9. Francoeur is going to put it up. Here's a blitz. He gets the ball away. It's up for grabs, and no one will get it. That was number 58, Travis Ashjay, and boy, did he put the rush on quarterback Larry Francoeur.
Yeah, Francoeur throwing off his back foot, throws a dying quail, and really the best Tiger with an opportunity, the best receiver was B.J. Stevens for Newport. But he fell down and not able to come up with an interception.
3rd down and 9. And at the 29-yard line will be the placement of the ball. We've got 4:56 to go in the opening quarter here at Somersworth as the Toppers open up their 1995 season here on the high school game of the week. Straight T backfield now as Francoeur drops back to pass, lets it go. Nice tight spiral, but no one is there, and it was good defense by Newport. Ball was intended for Somersworth High School's Ryan Frost. We've got a flag, Jay.
Dropped right in the middle of the field. Right here we get a good indication of Francoeur's arm. Still throws from his heels, but gets a nice tight spiral and just overthrows Ryan Frost downfield.
Call's going to be holding against Somersworth. Newport will decline it and bring up a 4th down, I would imagine, in this situation. Just like it's opening day for these teams, it's also opening day for the officials. Yeah. And so they're going to take a little bit longer to talk things over here today as they're getting their act in gear here.
Their season starting today. Well, the only real subtlety you can draw from this game so far is that very, very slowly Newport is beginning to win the battle of field position. Every time they get the ball, they're creeping a little further forward into Topper territory.
28 for Somersworth. That's Troy Brown. He'll kick. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to angle the ball away from number 44, Brian Holmes, as he's shown already that he's a fine, fine running back for Newport. It comes to the up man. That's Ron Clow. And Clow gets over the midfield stripe and down to the 44-yard line. And that's where Newport will start 1st and 10.
I think it's very important this time, this series for Newport. Of course, they got Brian Holmes leading the running charge. That seems to be okay. But when they get into a 2nd and long or 3rd and long situation, we really haven't seen an indication yet that Robertson has the time or yet maybe the arm to put it up and put some pepper on the ball when he needs to. So we'll wait and see how the Tigers shake out on this series.
On this 1st down play, Robertson drops back to pass, gets the pass away. It's a nice catch by Holmes and a nice tackle by Troy Brown, but it's a gain of 5 for the Newport Tigers, and that was a good play on both sides.
Well, you see the first two series, he decides to go back straight into the pocket. Robertson does. This time he rolls out to the left, evades some of that rush, and finds his best runner so far, Holmes, open up in the flat. Good 1st down yardage for the Tigers.
In the backfield for Newport, number 43, Dan O'Neill, number 44, Brian Holmes, and you're looking at number 25, Terry Robertson, a junior, 5'9", 165, running this Newport offense. On this second down play, second man through his Holmes, big hole up the middle. Dave Eldridge finally drags Holmes down from behind, but not until he gets to the 29, and that's a first down for Newport.
Boy, good power line movement that time. Hate to mention the name again, but you have to. Toby McDonald just pushing right off the line and opens up a nice hole.
Somersworth defense up front. Dan Porter, Joe Noel, Nate Durow. At one of the defensive ends, we see number 18, Dave Cook, and Randy Sevigny on the other side. First down and 10. Robertson all set. Second man through again is Holmes. He's going to pick up 3. Eldridge is there to help out. Also, we see Jason Lever helping out on that tackle. Gain on the play of 3. We'll call it second down and 7 with 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter.
That time they punch right up the middle instead of going off tackle left to right. So far, that's still working for at least 3 yards on each play they try.
B.J. Stevens split to the near side. Wing T set for Robertson. Robertson takes a look at the 5-2 Somersworth D. There's some movement in the line. He goes right off tackle to Brian Holmes, and the tackle's made there by Nate Durow for the Toppers. And also helping out, Joe Noel's third down and 5 coming up.
Thought I saw a lot of movement on the left side of that Topper line, but no flag called.
Brian Hodgson comes in for Somersworth, and Scott Hodgson checks out. Back there deep is Derek Downing, the best player in the secondary for Somersworth, according to Coach Keys. He wants Downing to settle down that secondary. Robertson back to pass again. That flare pass to the outside, a tough catch to make, and Holmes can't do it.
Well, he's doing it while he's backpedaling, and you almost don't give yourself enough time to really aim that ball. You can see here, he's just spins, sets up and throws, and Holmes just not able to dig it out of the ground and come up with a catch.
Quarterback has to have a lot of arm on that pass too, Jay. It really has to be on a rope to get out there.
And he's coming off of that spin too, so it's hard for him to really gauge his field and see where the receiver is going to be.
Ron Clough split to the far side, and B.J. Stevens to the near side on this 4th down and 4 from the 24-yard line. Robertson, long counts. He's going to put it up. Looking downfield, turns, and it was a screen pass, and the screen man wasn't there. Whoever was intended for the screen went the other way.
The screen man was either Toby McDonald or Jim Walter, and neither one of them.
They were blocking.
Exactly. Neither one of them were thinking they were going to get the ball. So obviously the receiver, there you see, instead of going left, went right.
The phantom screen pass.
Larry Carl has a little something to talk over with the offense.
And that is definitely a first game play right there.
Absolutely. But really a wasted opportunity at about the 24-yard line in Topper territory. So we'll see what the Toppers do to turn it around.
Off tackle, the give is to Jason Lever. Lever gets maybe a yard, and that's about it. He'll get to the 25-yard line.
When McDonald and Proper in on the play.
Check that. That run was by Ryan Frost, number 34. First time Frost has the ball, a junior, 5'11", 170 for the Toppers.
I'm going to see a number of different people throughout the course of the season, I think, in that backfield, along with Lever. Right now it's primarily Frost.
The blue-shirted Toppers break their huddle, come to the line now, ends in tight, straight T backfield. They want that offensive line to open some holes. Back to pass. Francoeur, ball's out there and can't catch up with Sevigny, who was the intended receiver.
Tried to go to Sevigny, but he was feeling some heat from number 86, Pat Zullo, breathing down his neck. So both teams getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, not giving him a lot of time to set up when they want to go back and pass.
And you said it, a lot of pressure. And for a sophomore quarterback to get that kind of pressure, young Mr. Francoeur is looking pretty cool right now, as he has his regular conference with Coach Jim Keys. He is going to the sideline after every play and actually talking to the coach about the play that's coming up.
Maybe after a few games they'll be signaling him in, but right now I think they want to get them straight.
High backfield for the Toppers. Franker's going to put it back up. Now he puts it under his arm, and he's going to run himself. He fumbles the ball. It's up for grabs, and he jumps right back on it. Let's see what the call's going to be. It looked like he got it back, Jay, and it will bring up 4th down.
Looks like Franker able to come up with it. We do have a topper down on the field, and that would be number 50, Matt Richardson, the center. You see here, by the time he's dropped back, I think he's already decided that he doesn't have an open receiver. Just tries to make the most of a bad situation and able to cover the ball. Right now they're attending to Matt Richardson. He's a 6'5", 200-pound center, a junior. Sam, you mentioned that Derek Downing is the Toppers' #1 backfield defender. He also is the other quarterback for the Toppers. You don't want to say he's the backup quarterback because Jim Keyes has been very upfront about the fact that he's going to go with 2 quarterbacks for at least the early part of the season. Both will see a lot of action, and until one rises head and shoulders above the other, this will be a 2-quarterback team. Richardson comes off under his own power.
Well, that's good news because certainly the center position is one of the most valuable on your team, and losing a player like Richardson would be real tough for the Toppers. Jay, you said it. The battle of field position is definitely going in Newport's way because now every time Somersworth punts, they're getting closer to their own end zone.
Exactly.
Troy Brown gets the kick away. It's another good kick, short but high and almost unreturnable, and there's going to be a flag coming up here as a Topper hit the Newport intended receiver before that ball even hit the ground.
Dave Cook, a junior, ran headlong right into, I don't really know, I don't remember if it was Holmes or who it was, but take a look at number 18 in blue. Pop, just runs right into Holmes. It was Holmes, and flag thrown immediately.
All right, you got to give him a chance to get to that ball.
So it'll turn outstanding field position into better field position for the Tigers, and they're creeping their way in.
Well, that's definitely one of the problems about that short high kick because the linemen are running down there and don't realize where the ball is going, and if the ball is behind them, it's a tough play for a lineman to make. But Newport will be the beneficiary of this penalty coming up.
However, the minute you see a number 44 or a 29, you know that you can't even go near that person until they catch sight of the ball.
Official talking with McDonald there for Newport, taking a look at the options right now. And again, first game of the season, the conferences will be a little bit longer, just to make sure that they get the right calls and dust off those rule books.
Let's all brush up on the consequences of the penalty and the options available.
Interference the call against Somersworth. And we'll move the ball deeper into Topper territory with 42 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. You're watching the high school game of the week here on Channel 12 Sports. Jay Childs, I'm Sam Bruno. We'll be bringing you a great high school football game every week here on Channel 12. 7 p.m. Saturday nights, 11 a.m. Sunday mornings. Be sure to keep it on Channel 12 for the best in high school sports.
We're going to be up and down the seacoast in 2 states, Sam.
Coming up on our next game, Jay and I will be at Dunaway Field in Dover to take on the Dover Green Wave, and we'll be watching a team that's always exciting to watch, and Coach Ken Osborne will be hoping that his Dover team will be a factor in Division II. They'll be taking on the Salem Blue Devils. That game on September 15th at Dover's Dunaway Field. Now, Newport has turned down the penalty. They want the ball right where it is. So they're going to take it inside the 45-yard line at the 44. And Newport, in this scoreless game, seeing if they can get their offense in gear. The Somersworth D has been playing well so far in this first quarter. Robertson, the quarterback, straight off tackle. It goes to the fullback. Eldridge is there on the stop. Also, Jason Lever is there to help out.
Jason Dewhurst took the ball that time. And after getting some good quality runs on the first couple of series on first down, that critical first down yardage has not been there for the Tigers the past couple of series.
Other players out there on defense, Derek Downing, number 7, Scott Hodgson, number 6, Randy Sevigny, 86, Dan Cook is 18. All digging in for the Topper D on this 2nd down and 9. Brian Holmes, look at him go. Breaking tackles. First down for Newport.
Takes out a coach as well. I tell you, that play was set up beautifully by Jim Walter. Offensive tackle, 5'9", 200, if we can see that again. Number 59.
When he gets up ahead of steam,
take a look at 59, kicks that man right out, opens it up for Holmes, and Holmes is off to the races. He takes out his head coach for good measure. I believe that was Larry Carl.
Sophomore Scott Hodgson came up quickly from his secondary position and had a shot at Holmes. But that's going to be it for the first quarter. No score. And the defenses for both teams playing hard-nosed football. But most of this first quarter, I guess the headline is that most of the first quarter has been in Somersworth territory. Newport's had the better of it.
Yeah, they've gone well, but they've gone very slowly. That's the first down we've had for either team since the opening drive for Newport. So it's been a defensive struggle, but Newport is very slowly closing in on the Topper goal line.
Good look there at the Topper cheerleaders as we've got a good opening day crowd here on an overcast and chilly day here in late summer in Somersworth.
It's only fitting, Sam.
Well, it feels a little bit like a football day.
Exactly.
I also see a couple of umbrellas opening up, so we may have a shower before this one's over. And that's our Channel 12 Sports forecast for you here.
Don't rely on it.
Right, and later on in the show, we'll give you the predictions of Hurricane Luis hitting the eastern seaboard.
Well, I remember when we opened up last year, it was about 85 degrees, and then we had a warm night as well, opening up in Portsmouth, I believe it was. No, Dover last year. So this is real football weather, and it's good to get it started early.
High school action from last night. Lebanon beat Souhegan 22-14. Merrimack over Nashua 10-8. Plymouth, the defending champs here in Division 4, easily defeating Brady 33-14. In Maine, Deering beat Biddeford 21-14. Coney over Sanford 24-6. And Noble down Lawrence 20-6.
Well, Plymouth is returning 7 starters, and Dan DeCenzo, the All-State quarterback, is a key cog in that Plymouth defense of their title.
1st and 10, ball at the 34-yard line of Somersworth. Holmes, right off tackle, bounces off the pile, but will get a short gain as the Somersworth D is packing it in the middle. Nice tackle by Joe Noel, again in the middle.
Boy, from here, it looks as though Joe Noel was holding off 2 offensive linemen for Newport as he just stands them up and won't budge.
I mean, at 5'4", and you're a visiting team, you come out over center, you look at Joe Noel, and you say, this is going to be a great day.
No, he's a fire plug, though. That's what you want in your nose tackle because he's the quickest off the ball, so you want him to be the lowest to the ground, and Joe's about as low as they go.
2nd down and 9. Eye backfield for the Tigers as we're into the second quarter. No score, movement in the line, and this one will come back. Wanting to get a head start was number 43, Dan O'Neill, for the Tigers.
And the thing is, once 43 started, that got Brian Holmes moving.
So the penalty goes against the Tigers, and Somersworth gets a break here, as most of this game has been played in Somersworth territory, but we've still got a scoreless game here in the opening game of the 95 season. Newport now, in this 2nd down and long, splits a couple receivers out to the far side. Holmes is the tailback in the eye.
Topper's expecting a pass. They're laying off some of their linebackers.
And they will get it from Terry Robertson. Nice pass over the middle. Incomplete.
Yeah, Robertson right here threads the needle beautifully. Has just a little more time to pass as well, but as you were saying, Troy Brown just wraps him up, and the ball goes incomplete. Receiver might have heard footsteps.
3rd down and 15. Ball stays at the 38-yard line. Somersworth secondary trying to make the takeaway here as they're anticipating the pass, and we've got some movement Somersworth showed like they were going to blitz, Jay, and Newport jumped.
Sivigny is pointing it. Looks as though it was on that left side.
Illegal procedure is the call. And we'll march back 5 more.
Might have been the center, as they were pointing right at the middle of the line, John Proper.
Ray Rivera brings in the play from the Newport sideline on this 3rd down and 20. The Tigers need to get to the 24-yard line of Somersworth for a first down. 10:54 to go in the first half. No score. Terry Robertson is going to give the ball to Holmes. Holmes gets a hole off the right side, still on his feet, heading for the first down marker and down the sideline, and he'll go all the way for the touchdown. There is flags on the field. There are flags on the field. If it's good, it's a 44-yard touchdown run, but let's wait and see what the call's going to be. Our official steps up. It's going to be clipping against Newport. It's coming back.
Just as I turned and glanced and got the replay, you saw the clip. A blue jersey went flying from behind, and you almost get the feeling right there that Holmes knew when he got in the end zone that it was coming back. I don't know if we can see that replay again, but right in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you see the clip. And what started out as a promising drive for Newport, right here you'll see right there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen.
That was Brian Hodgson who got clipped.
And I think you can see right there that Holmes knows as he goes into the end zone that it's going to be a clip. 3 straight penalties against Newport have made a promising start at the 32-yard line. Almost a nightmare past midfield at the 47. This is the first time in a long time Newport's been in their own territory.
3rd down and 28. Let's see if they play it conservatively. They do, just right off tackle. And it goes to Dewhurst, and he'll only get a couple of yards. And right now, I think Newport just wants to punt the ball away. They didn't want to take a chance of putting the ball up and getting it intercepted, and they will punt the ball away to the Toppers. So penalties are the problem for Newport on that series.
Boy, that crushed them, and they at least had the advantage of every time they got the ball, they were somewhere between the 40 and the 30-yard line of the Toppers. Now the Toppers have an excellent opportunity to improve their field position, maybe get a return.
And Larry Francor, number 12, is back there with number 6, Scott Hodgson. The punt is away, and we're going to have a run back. This is Hodgson at the 14-yard line, looking for a block, and gets up over the 20-yard line to, let's see, we're going to put it at about the 26. And that's where the Toppers will start 1st and 10 with 9:51 to go in the second period.
Now there you see a different example. Number 24, Jeff Finney, coming down to block as he's coming up with the ball, had a sense that a clip could be coming if he really laid a block on the back of one of the Newport Tigers, able to lay off, and it means that there's not as big a run back, but you don't get called for the clip, and that was right in front of the official too. So heads up defensive non-play by Jeff Finney.
Somersworth has called a timeout here, and this gives us a chance to take a look at Coach Keys heading into the Topper lineup here, talking things over with his squad. A brand new offensive backfield. Everybody's gone. Kevin Hebert's gone from last year. John Dumays, all those folks have moved on, and Coach Keys is working with his young offense.
And he said it's going to take a while for him to sort out who the stable of running backs is going to be, other than Jason Lever, who he's going to leave in there as the anchor at 6 foot, 198 pounds. But right now, the combination of Hodgson and Frost is in there. But he also has the possibility of Eric Piazza, number 44, and a number of other players may see action in that tailback position before the season is over. So some questions to be answered on offense. But somehow he just starts with uncertain scenarios in the early season and turns it into winning records and championships.
Power eye backfield, off tackle, goes to Lever. Lever struggles for a couple of yards, and that's going to be it. Tough running inside there. Toby McDonald steals the ball away and heads toward the end zone, but no. You've got to come back.
Boy, Eric Lever that time a ready target. He gets the ball, and you can see he just follows Dan Porter, and he's going to go about as far as Dan Porter can go. But that time, the Newport Tigers had to make the play.
Randy Boston, number 75, one of the tackles. He's a senior, 5'11", 325 pounds. Right next to Dan Porter, 6'6", 300 pounds. On this second down, 7. Francor, quarterback option. Pitches outside. Hodgson turns the corner, gets close to the first down marker. He'll be shy by a couple of yards, but we saw a little Texas Longhorn action right there.
Certainly did. They go to that right side along where Porter and Boston are playing. Little pitch right at the last moment to Hodgson. And gets some respectable yardage to make a nice 3rd and short situation. That was a good call right there, because I think there was a sense by Keys that they were lulling the Newport Tigers to sleep a little bit up the middle and off tackle, and why not spread them out a little bit?
Scott Volkemer is the center now for Somersworth, as Richardson is not back in yet. This is Hodgson off tackle, driving for that first down marker, and he's got it. So the Toppers finally get a first down here with 8:17 to go in the second quarter, as Scott Hodgson, a sophomore, 5'11", 175, picks up the necessary yardage.
Looking down to the bench, Sam, Richardson, Matt Richardson's got his left leg up in the air on the bench, and looks like that knee is wrapped. So he's out of action, at least for now. May have seen the last of him for today.
Ryan Frost in the backfield now. He's the tailback and the power eye on this first down and 10. Franco pitches the ball to Frost. He's got some running room. Ryan Frost up over the 40-yard line to the 44. And while that play picked up 5 yards, didn't look the best.
No, it didn't. Looked a little rough. Ron Clough came in and make the to finally make the play. Right here, you can see he's dragged down from behind by Clough, but you would have thought that maybe the outside man would have been able to get a little more of a block. And when you're going to do a pitch play like that, it can't be quite as slow to develop.
You have to wonder with the young offense, certainly Coach Keys doesn't want to toss the ball around that much. He'd be very happy to go off tackle all day long, but that's been taken away.
Yeah, because even an outside tackle like Toby McDonald now is really able to stack in towards the inside, and Keys really sees it. He's forced to try to stretch that defensive line out and make some of the linebackers and safeties come up and make some plays. But you're right, some of those pitches, both of those pitches, the one in the option play and that one right there, not exactly right in front of the runner, sort of behind, make the runner stutter step, hold up a little bit, and that's really all the defense needs on those plays to make the play.
And also in the first game of the season, you may not have all your offense in yet. You know, you basically have been practicing now since mid-August, so you've got about less than 4 weeks under your belt right now. You've played 3 preseason games, and you really are still at the basic level, especially if you have a young team.
Right, if you have a lot of turnover, you don't want to initiate them with the entire playbook right off. Get them to master the basic plays. And that's going to go on, especially with this team, for this game and even next game.
Second down and 4. Ball at the Somersworth 44-yard line. Topper quarterback Larry Francor goes off tackle to Lever. Lever's going to get enough for the first down and gain more as he moves into Newport territory to the 47-yard line. Stopped there by Dewhurst for Newport, but not until the Toppers pick up another 10.
Boy, what a nose for the first down. Look at Lever right here on number 44, Brian Holmes, how he just pops him, the other runner for Newport, right there. Comes up to meet him, and Holmes goes right down on his back. Lever won't stop until he gets that first down, and that's one of the first downs that the Toppers have had in a long time.
Best drive of the game happening right now for Somersworth. There's 7:15 and rolling on the clock. No score. We're at Somersworth High School. Francor looks over the middle. The ball's out there, and he almost intercepted by Holmes. He had it once, he had it twice, and the young man feels that if he caught that, he was going to go all the way. There was no one else in front of him.
I think he saw the end zone right there before he saw the ball. Take a look at this. Francor goes straight back. The ball, his arm might have been slightly deflected, but right into the basket of Holmes. And he was seeing 6 before he saw the ball into his hands. So right now, Francoeur realizing on second down he's living on borrowed time.
Ball was intended for Ty Cobb, number 21. Clock stopped, 7:05 to go in the first half. Second down and 10, 48-yard line of Newport. Hodgson splits to the far side. Frost is the tailback in the I. Francoeur on the option. He's going to keep it himself. Down the sidelines, he'll pick up a nice gain of 7 before he's stopped by number 80, B.J. Stevens for Newport.
A lot of that pressure from the Newport Tigers has been coming from the right side, and including John Proper, who's been coming a lot. That time they run away from it on the near side.
Here's Frost on the wing. Newport had coverage on the pitch man, and so Francoeur kept it himself. And it's third down, and we'll call it 4, as the ball is just outside the 40-yard line. Cobb is split to the near side. 4-3 defense for the Newport Tigers. It's Lever. He's going to try to get it himself, and he does. Right over Randy Boston and Dan Porter. He picks up 4, and it's going to be another first down on this drive for Somersworth.
Clayton Cowett, number 78, 6'3", 186. Got a hold of Lever right away, but Lever, with a nose for the first down marker, able to fight his way to the first down. And an outstanding offensive drive right now, as we're seeing them using the combination of Lever's power and running the option to both sides of the field. Now they've got Newport guessing a little bit as to what they're going to do, and they're not able to pack it in quite as tight towards the inside.
Hodgson is now the tailback in the I, as Coach Keys is alternating players. Francoeur pitches to Hodgson. He's got some running room on the corner, but he runs right into his blockers. If he had cut that inside, he had a little bit more running room, Jay, but there was a crunching block on the end by Somersworth, and Hodgson and Sevigny, I think it was, just crunched that end, and Hodgson ran right into him.
Take a look, too. Travis Ash really beating down on Francoeur. But he gets it off just in time, and he ran into his own man. You're absolutely right.
Second down and 8 is coming up right now. Ball at the 35-yard line. This drive for the Toppers started at their own 24. And we've got 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Newport dominated the first quarter, but the Toppers are getting the better of it here in the second stanza. Right up the middle, Lever breaking tackles. There's Lever going for the first down.
That time, nothing fancy at all. First man through, Lever, power right up the middle. And boy, he's outstanding at really making something happen out of a little bit of a hole up the middle, but you can see the combination of speed right through the line and then just pure power as he gets into the secondary of Newport.
Roy Remick, number 62, had a big block inside that time, as well as the center, Scott Volkemer. First down and 10, ball at the 25.
So far this drive has eaten up about 40 yards.
It's been a nice one so far as Cobb splits to the near side. Quarterback Francoeur takes a look at the Newport defense. Toppers stay on the ground. Here goes Jason Lever. Lever breaks a tackle by Dewhurst, but he'll pick up another 5.
Excellent instincts by Lever that time. Takes the ball, doesn't really see anything open up, so spins off to the outside. See it right here, 45, sees nothing, then spins again, and excellent first down yardage. Sets up a nifty 2nd and 4 for the Toppers, and with the option running that they've been doing, they've got a lot of things that they can try here on second down.
Now they come out in the straight T formation on this second down. Francoeur gives it to Hodgson. Hodgson's got the first down. Hodgson going for the end zone, still on his feet. Ryan Hodgson looking for that end zone. Check that, Scott Hodgson looking for the end zone, and he'll be short by 3 yards.
Down to about the 3-yard line. That time he found an opening and just followed 71 Jeff Turgeon. Then he cuts back to the left, rolls over Savigny, and finally corralled by the Tigers at the 3-yard line.
An impressive second quarter drive here by the Toppers as they are knocking on the door. First and goal.
I think Jim Keys was doing that inside-outside running just to keep Larry Carl and the Tigers thinking about it, and then as soon as they were maybe trying to react to possible option plays by the Toppers, they went right back inside, and it's paid off big dividends.
No surprise as Lever gets the ball, goes off tackle, gets down to about the 1, and I've got a feeling that he'll get the call again coming up right now. This is when your 6-foot, 200-pound fullback comes in handy.
Nothing fancy right here. You want to be right behind. You want to power off of both Dan Porter and Randy Boston. This is what they're here to do on the goal line.
It's been all run for the Toppers. They haven't completed a pass yet today. Hodgson's the tailback in the eye. Francoeur is going to try to take it himself. Cannot turn the corner as a nice defensive play by Brian Holmes forces him out at the 4-yard line, and now this is a decision time for Coach Keys.
Certainly had all of us fooled, didn't he, Sam? We thought it would be nothing fancy right up the middle.
But that's exactly, Jay, what you had talked about, inside, outside. And that time the outside play lost some yardage. We'll put it at the 3-yard line now, where it will be 3rd and goal.
Well, in football, you never deal with shoulds, but based on the way I think Jim Keys had Larry Carl thinking, that play should have been wide open. But credit the defense of Newport for reacting to that run by Francoeur, and he runs it back out on the field and calls timeout.
Good timeout with 2:22 to go in the first half, and this is your scoring opportunity of the first half. You've got a play that went up the middle to gain a couple to get to the 1. Now you've lost some yardage, and you've got to go to your bag of tricks here to decide what you want to call.
Well, there's certainly, I think, in a situation here where there are 2 downs.
And Somersworth right now having the chance to get the first touchdown of this game. You would think that it would be a high-scoring contest against a couple of clubs that have some young players, and we'd be seeing a lot of mistakes. We did have 1 touchdown call back as Holmes went 44 yards, but it was called back on a clipping call for Newmarket.
Newport.
Now
there's a switch.
There's a switch.
A brand new Division 4 team in Newmarket playing football.
And they would be Division 4.
Well, same colors.
That's right.
You got the colors.
That's right. I was thinking back to March, being at the home of the Mules.
Took about as loud, too. Matt Richardson, number 50. We saw a shot of him a couple of minutes ago. It looks as though he's up and walking around on that knee, but no indication of if and or when he's going to be back in for the Toppers.
2:22 on the clock. Coach is in and out of the lineup, and now Somersworth comes to the line on this big 3rd down play. Francoeur, the sophomore quarterback, stands over his center, Scott Volkemer. It's Lever, driving, touchdown. Let's keep it simple, fellas, and go right to the fullback.
And you know, Lever, an excellent runner. You can see he doesn't necessarily have to have anything open. He can just worm his way in there. You see here, there's really no big hole for him to run through. He just kind of puts 2 hands on the balls and drives through. And that makes it 6-0.
And caps off what I have as a 76-yard drive for Somersworth, all on the ground.
And 1 first down at a time.
Right. Nice job. This is the kind of drive that brings a young offensive unit together. Holding for the Toppers on the extra point is Ryan Keefe. Troy Brown will attempt the extra point. Ball's down, the kick is true. So make it 7-0 as Somersworth scores their first touchdown of the 95 season.
Straight up the middle. Nothing fancy after we saw Francoeur on the previous play try to go to the outside, but right now Jim Keys has planted a seed in Larry Carl's head, and that you can't rely on us doing one thing. We're not going to be a one-dimensional offense here. We're going to run a number of plays, and we'll have to see how Newport is able to react when they get the ball back. They were the ones who had most of the favorable field position for most of this first half, but now they find themselves getting the ball down 7-0.
And Newport, who's had most of the yardage here in the first half, will get the ball back. And we'll have to see if they'll resort to some of their trickery that they're well known for here in the final 2:19. Back deep is Holmes again, as well as Jewhurst for Newport.
First couple of drives, they showed an ability with Holmes to move the ball, and on that play called back, Holmes was able to move the ball, so they've still got some weapons out there. It's just a matter of calming down, and of course that drive killed by 3 critical penalties that really set Newport back on their heels. 2:19, plenty of time to get something done. Got to start it with a big kickoff return, though.
Troy Brown ready to approach the ball as the Toppers have a 7-0 lead. It's going to go to Holmes. Holmes up to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Oh, and just tripped up by Somersworth High School's Ryan Francor, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle.
Even though it gives excellent field position at midfield for Newport, the coaches and Ryan Francor are just happy that he was able to get him at the ankles. You see here Holmes right up the middle. He's got excellent speed, and it's opened right up that wedge. And you can see Holmes, once again, that's the 3rd time today he thought he saw 6. Once was on that run, the second was on that interception play, and right there.
Now Holmes is a receiver to the near side with 1:57 to go in the half. Ball near midfield for the Newport Tigers. Robertson wants to throw, and he's hit and dropped. Sevigny is there, as well as Nate Durow for Somersworth.
Yeah, the minute Robertson went back, he was looking for Brian Holmes, but didn't have long to look as Durow was right in on him. See it right there, and Sevigny helps finish him off. Little pat on the back when he's got him down.
1:26, clock moving in the first half. Loss on the play of 7. 2nd and 17 coming up for the Tigers, and they want to call timeout, and they get the time. Newport a little confused as they come to the line, and they'll take a breather here with 1:16, and the clock stops. Somersworth leads by a score of 7-0. The only touchdown coming on a 3-yard run by Jason Lever moments ago, capping off a 76-yard drive for the Somersworth Toppers.
That's going to hurt their chances for Newport getting in the end zone or getting a field goal opportunity before halftime, using up a timeout. They've got to find another offensive weapon other than Holmes, unless they do what they're doing right now, which is he's now back on the left. He's going both sides.
Holmes is the tailback in the eye. Robertson gives it to Holmes. Holmes off tackle. Oh, what a hit by Derek Downing. My goodness, soon as that play developed, Downing just raced up to the line of scrimmage, and he was not to be denied as he brought down the big fullback for Newport.
That takes a lot, too, because we see the speed that Brian Holmes gets almost immediately, and Downing comes flying over and levels him.
6'1", 160. Newport out of timeouts, 23 seconds. It's a 4th down and 7. Robertson needs to pick up 7 to stop the clock. Back to pass. Needs help. Throws it cross to B.J. Stevens. He's got the first down and more. Stevens will get all the way down to the 15-yard line, and there's 3 seconds to go. The clock will stop until they set the chains, and Joe Noel is getting up slowly for the Toppers. And let's see if they can set the ball and get a playoff here before time runs out. Newport is out of timeouts. Joe Noel can't get off the field. He's got an ankle injury.
The officials so far haven't seen it.
They will call time as Joe Noel is back at about the 37-yard line, and he'll be attended to by the Somersworth trainers.
Boy, interesting situation there when you see, well, first of all, let's take a look at the play. Right up the left side, an excellent block to set that up, by the way, by Jim Walter downfield, number 59 for Newport. But at the end of that play, they're setting up the ball, getting things ready. Joe Noel's trying to get off the field, and I think that's part of what maybe Jim Keys is talking about, and the officials just absolutely didn't see him. Granted, he was about 30 yards away from the play, but he's down and he's in some pain, and Joe Noel has been a real fire plug up the middle there at defensive tackle, or excuse me, nose guard.
Ball's at the 16-yard line. Newport players don't realize what's happening near midfield as they keep breaking their huddle and want to come to the line.
Right.
The ball's at the 16. If they were going to try a field goal, it will be about a 36-yard attempt. There's 3 seconds on the clock. I don't see a T out there, Jay, so
No.
I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Once again, Newport wants to come back up to the line.
And now Noel looks like he's going to make it to his feet. And it looks like an ankle or a knee injury there.
So 2 hits for the line for Somersworth. Joe Noel goes out after Richardson, the center, went out for Somersworth. Matt Richardson out with a knee, and now it looks like a leg or an ankle injury for Noel, number 10.
Final play of the first half coming up. There's 3 seconds left to go. And once the official rolls the clock, they'll snap the ball. Ball snapped. They'll get the play off. The pass is for the end zone. It's to Stevens. He's going to go in for a touchdown. On the final play of the first half, a 16-yard touchdown pass from Terry Robertson to B.J. Stevens, and it's 7-6.
Boy, nothing really fancy that time. You could see Robertson sets up. He knows where he wants to go. Stevens just makes a sprint towards the corner of the end zone. You can see there he's looking Stevens all the way. And the pass laid in beautifully. Stevens just sprints, beats his man, and gets it in the end zone at the end of the first half for a touchdown for Newport, and we could be even after this kick.
No time on the clock. The extra point will be attempted by, I'm going to try this, Wojak Stazuskowicz.
Yeah, C+.
Holmes can't handle the snap from center. Wouldn't you know it, Wazuskowicz picks up the ball and he's tackled. So it remains a 7-6 game as we close out the first half here at Somersworth. And let's look at the fireworks on the last play.
But look at how the ball is just over the defender into the arms of Stevens, but nothing fancy. Robertson was looking at him all the way, and you could see Stevens just heading on a straight pattern for the corner.
And we're at halftime. Somersworth and Newport. Oh, it's a good one. The Toppers lead 7-6. We'll be back with third period action. You're watching the high school game of the week on Channel 12 Sports.
Picture of the things you do, working 24 hours every day to keep the signal coming through. We're Continental, we put everything on the line for you.
Picasso painted the old guitarist during a period of depression that lasted 4 years, his blue period. Today, with new discoveries, 80% of depressive disorders are being successfully treated, giving hope to millions that maybe now nobody has to have a blue period.
Every time we say goodbye.
Goodbyes are never easy, but none are as painful as saying goodbye forever. So please, give blood once more this year. You could help save someone you never want to part with.
I wonder why a little.
Welcome back to Somersworth High School. Sam Bruno, Jay Childs, all set for the third period kickoff as the Toppers lead 7-6. Here's Troy Brown, running room, up to the 36-yard line before taking a couple of Newport tacklers with him, and we're underway, Jay, here in the second half. Newport stunning Somersworth with a touchdown on the last play of the first half.
Boy, a huge burst of momentum going into halftime for the Newport Tigers. With no time left, Robertson goes to Stevens, on a straight pattern to the right side of the end zone. 16 yards, 7-6. The point after was no good, however. And Somersworth now clings to a 1-point lead going into the third quarter, and Frank Core is still in there.
Hodgson trying to turn the corner. He'll only get a couple as he's brought down by a host of Newport tacklers. Taking a look at those stats for the first half, pretty even.
Yeah, they were, especially in terms of first downs. Somersworth got 5 first downs and Newport 5, but the key was in total yardage, and Newport took over the edge 101-75, and they got a little bit more of a mix in that they scored some of those yards through the air, 39 of them, while Somersworth was 0 for 4, no yards through the air. So the difference has really been what Newport's been able to do through the air to rack up a little extra yardage and a touchdown at the end of the first half.
2nd down and 9. The handoff, straight off tackle to Hodgson. He'll pick up maybe 4 before he's brought down by Newport High School's Travis Ash. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Ball at the Somersworth 41.
2 key injuries, and we'll have to see how those affect Somersworth as well. Starting right up the middle on both sides for the Toppers. Starting center Matt Richardson is out and still out, although he's up and walking around, and Joe Noel, the nose tackle, is out with an ankle injury. So new people right up the middle for Somersworth.
On this 3rd down and 5, Larry Francor, the sophomore quarterback, gets very close to that first down marker, and I'd say by our Channel 12 cameras that I think he's got it there.
It's going to be real close, but looks like he's going to get it right here. Francor finds just a little bit of an opening. I think it was Hodgson who was leading him and able to eke out that first down. So coming out for the second half, Jim Keys has his team running and gunning.
Somersworth picked up some yardage with Jason Lever inside, but it appears that the weakness on the Newport defense is on the outside, and the Toppers may stick with that, as now they're 1st down and 10 from their own 47. They try to go off tackle to Lever, and my goodness, as soon as he got the handoff, he was crunched by Travis Ash.
Ran right directly into them, and somebody who started off with a big defensive impact for Newport but has fallen off a little bit is Toby McDonald. We saw him making a lot of plays early. They're running away from him here, but right up through the gut of the middle is Ash to make the big play on Lever. That time Somersworth, as we said, running towards the right. McDonald has been lined up just over the ball to the right of the ball on the opposite side, so we'll see if McDonald steps that up a little more defensively in the second half.
Loss of 2. This is Ryan Frost breaking tackles. Nice run by Ryan Frost as he's going to pick up 6 on the carry, leaving Newport tacklers in his wake. That was a nice strong run by Ryan Frost, number 34 for the Toppers. He's a junior, 5'11", 170 pounds. Nice run, picked up 7, 3rd down and 5 coming up.
And that time Toby McDonald almost got to him at his ankles, but Dan Porter was able to move off McDonald just enough to allow for that run.
Offensive line of Volkemer, Porter, Boston, Roy Remick is in there, and number 71, Jeff Turgeon, trying to open some holes here on this big 3rd down play. Now the tailback in the eye is Scott Hodgson. On the counter, it goes to Ryan Frost, and that play is just crunched by McDonald.
Well, it was only a matter of time before McDonald would step it up, and he puts all 227 pounds into that stop, and a real critical stop for Newport. They didn't want them to put together another 76-yard drive the way Somersworth did to score their touchdown. Very methodical on that drive, and here they're stopped in their second series of downs.
Troy Brown will kick for the Toppers. He had about a 30-yard average in the first half. And back deep is Holmes for the Tigers. And as we expected, B.J. Stevens takes the ball and is tackled immediately. That ball was kicked away from Brian Holmes.
And that's really the first time today that we've seen that they've really tried to keep it away from Holmes. They've allowed him to touch the ball. Stevens, though, has shown in his streaks that he can motor up the field when he has to as well. Other first half stats, Lever was the lead rusher, 8 rushes for 35 yards for Somersworth. Holmes had 55 on 10 rushes for Newport. Penalties hurting Newport as they had 3 for negative 25 yards, and Somersworth 2 penalties but no yards lost.
Ball at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tigers as they trail 7-6 here early in the third quarter. Halfback pass. Holmes has a man. It's Stevens, and it's almost intercepted by Derek Downing. Good coverage that time by number 28, Troy Brown, and number 7, Derek Downing. And Downing almost had the pick, and he would have gone all the way for a score.
He would have, but they had Stevens open. You can see right here, if it had been a little more direction on that pass, Troy Brown saw the handoff and played away from Stevens, bought off of it, and Stevens just kept running. If the ball had been laid in there, that would have been a big, big gain for Newport.
Good idea as the Toppers key on Brian Holmes to pass that ball. 2nd down and 10. Ball remains at the 28. Off tackle, it goes to Holmes, and he'll go nowhere as he's dropped in the backfield by Dave Eldridge. Jason Lever's also there.
Take a look, and Dave Eldridge walks off the play and gives a couple of extra motivational shakes of the fist. Take a look at it here. Look for number 69. Just comes plowing through and drags him down from behind.
Dan Porter also in on the play on this 3rd down and 13 coming up. Now we see 3 receivers split to the near side as quarterback Terry Robertson says to the Toppers, I'm going to try to put this up. Here's a blitz on the reverse. It's kept by the quarterback. Robertson fumbles the ball. It looks like the Toppers have it. Robertson was crunched. The Toppers come up with the football, and the officials are still talking it over here. And let's see what the call is. We have no indication yet. It is Somersworth ball.
I think from one of the other angles, they're wondering if maybe the ground had caused the fumble, but clearly
that's a fumble.
He fumbled before he hit the ground, and I think it was Eldridge who came in and pounced on it. Eldridge blitzed from his side. They ran away from him, so excellent example by Eldridge of how a play is never over, even if they run away from you, and he comes up with the ball.
So a big break for the Toppers as they have the ball now at the Newport 36-yard line with 5:56 to go here in the third period. And just like that, Travis Ash is in on Jason Lever. I've got a feeling that number 58 for Newmarket is just going to shadow number 45 for Somersworth.
I think he's put on him, and his sole responsibility is to follow Lever.
7-6 is our score. Toppers scored in the second quarter, and Newport scored on the final play of the second quarter. Their point after attempt no good, and that's the difference here in the opening game of the 1995 season. Toppers trying to capitalize on a turnover here. It's 2nd down and 12. Ty Cobb split to the far side as Ryan Frost is the tailback in the I. Frank Hoare on the option. Waits, pitches. Frost tries to get by Brian Holmes, but Holmes makes the tackle after a gain of about 4.
And down on the play for Newport's number 27, Jason Dewhurst. Take a look at it here. Frank Hoare delays, and then at the last second gives it up to Ryan Frost, but Holmes was really shading him on that play and able to make the pop right now.
Franco looks good for a sophomore on running that option. That's one of the toughest plays around to run. And he's been pretty steady in pitching that ball to the outside.
And that dish to Frost was right in stride. Plenty of pop on it, but just excellent pursuit that time by Holmes. And now we're waiting to see what the word is on Dewhurst.
Right, on the clock we've got 4:53, Jay. 7-6 is our score. We'll remind our viewers that our next game will be on September 23rd and 24th, Saturday night at 7. And on the 24th at 11 a.m. we'll be at Dunaway Field when Salem High School takes on the Dover Green Wave in Division II action. And when you talk about Division II, Jay, you talk about anybody can win it in that division. There's a lot of parity there.
Well, Tom Sawyer of Londonderry brings the championship team back, but you're right, there's just a number of teams. And the most interesting part of Division II very often is the are the teams who are on the verge of making the playoffs, and it always comes down to Dover and Exeter, right on the cusp. It's very close, and they are starting their game today. Bill Ball and Ken Osmond hooking up again, as they have for the first game for a couple of years now.
I think our replay times are 6 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday coming up on weekends, so be sure to mark your calendar for those games. As we see number 27, Jason Dewhurst, being helped off the field here for Newport.
Another team, Sam, you don't want to forget about, Winnicott returning 7 starters, quality starters. So Dick Gagnier will probably be hunting around in the mix.
I think that's I think Winnicott's a very interesting team because they have a lot of people returning. They've lost the stars in Jerome Brokenbrough and Russ Morong, but they've got some players coming back.
Yeah, those are some quality stars. Dumont returns at quarterback, so he'll hopefully stabilize that position for Winnicott.
And we'll watch the Portsmouth Clippers a couple of times, as they've got a sophomore-laden lineup, and they're a team that's going to need about maybe one more year, and the Clippers will be back. Moving before the ball was snapped was Jason Lever, and the legal procedure will be the call against the Toppers. So Somersworth trying to capitalize on that fumble, faced with a 3rd and long now, as the ball will be pushed back to the 40-yard line.
3rd penalty for Somersworth, but only the first one that's resulted in any yardage. So that'll set him back 5. Haven't really seen Francoeur go to the air much, and here's a situation where he probably will have to. Hasn't had a lot of time to throw when he's tried to go through the air. See if he'll try to hook up with Ty Cobb or maybe somebody in the flat coming out of the backfield. He'll have to roll out if he wants to have some time.
On the straight drop back, stepping up to try to pick the ball for the interception was Aaron Fellows, but it was a little too high, and it will bring up a 4th down and a punting situation now for the Toppers.
Well, more defensive impact being shown by Tommy McDonald that time, as he made the hit on Francoeur. Francoeur tries to take the 3-step drop, and boom. Just as he releases it, McDonald hits it, but it did manage to get into the hands of Cobb, but just too difficult a pass to hold on to.
Brown has been steady so far here in this opening game. In kicking for the Toppers, 4:28 to go in the 3rd. It's another good snap and another good kick. This one goes in Stevens' direction and out of bounds, and that's pretty good play for the Toppers in this situation, kicking away from Brian Holmes and putting the ball inside the 20-yard line. You can't ask for more than that.
Takes the Somersworth roll and rolls out of bounds, so for one of the few times Somersworth will be setting up from deep in their own territory. Excuse me, Newport will be setting up from deep in their own territory.
13-yard line is where the ball will be.
Good look there, the Topper cheerleaders entertaining the crowd.
Terry Robertson, quarterback for Newport. Big spreads between those offensive linemen. Big spacing now as the Somersworth defense all over the field. And it looks like they want to give Brian Holmes some running room. They try to go right up the middle. He'll pick up 4. Now, that was the first time we've seen that, Jay, that next time they come up to the line, look at the spacing between the offensive linemen. They're 2-3 yards apart.
Roy Remick has moved in to replace Joe Noel. He's a senior, 6'1", 220. Normally plays a tackle position, either on offense or on defense. But you're absolutely right. They're really stretching out the defensive line.
It's Holmes. Off tackle. Nice play in the backfield that time. Getting there was Dave Eldridge, as he's playing a good second half. And he is the man who is shadowing Brian Holmes.
I think what they're doing is maybe reacting a little bit to the shiftiness of Holmes and trying to make sure that they have coverage all along that line and don't pack it in too much.
On the counter, Eldridge making a good penetration tackle there for the Toppers. And unfortunately for Somersworth, we've got another player down.
And unfortunately didn't get a number.
Already Richardson and Joe Noel are out of the ball game. And with 3:30 to go, play stopped here at Somersworth High School. It's Dan Porter.
That would be a key loss.
Yes.
Another key loss.
You know, on a play like that, I'm guessing that Porter got trapped, and you don't see where that trap block is coming from sometimes.
Right.
And that can knock the wind out of you. And when you knock the wind out of Dan Porter, you really knock the wind out.
You've knocked a gale storm out of a player. He's up drinking some water and wasn't limping or anything like that, so you're probably right, Sam. I think what they're trying to do here is just sort of react to what Newport does, find the hole and plug it, but have coverage all along that defensive line.
On the third down play, Dan O'Neill, number 43, just goes off tackle. A very conservative call, but deep in your own territory at a 7-6 ball game, you might want to play this field position battle for a few minutes here.
Well, this is one of the added advantages that you get when you pin the offensive team deep in their own territories, is for a team with a bag of tricks like Newport, you don't leave them all of those options because too many of them are risky in their own territory.
Punting situation now for the Tigers. Looking for this good snap as he's inside his 5-yard line. It's a high snap. It's going to go and roll into the end zone and out of the end zone, and that's 2 points. A safety for Somersworth. The centers have been doing a great job in this opening game snapping the ball, but that time it was over the head of the punter and 2 points.
Take a look here. Never an opportunity as it rolls all the way out of the end zone.
That was Wojak.
Wojak didn't have a chance at that one.
Didn't have a chance. 2-point safety. That makes it 9-6 now, as the punter can't take the snap, and now the Toppers will get the ball back on the free kick.
An excellent field opportunity for the Toppers, as they're going to get the ball back with a chance to score some more.
Newport got a break. There was some Toppers in on that ball, and it was rolling around there in the end zone and then just crossed the end line.
Well, those 2 points make a difference too, because instead of just a 1-point lead, now it would be at least a field goal to tie.
So Wojak Staskowitz, I'm going to get that right before this game is over.
You see how I avoided it?
You do.
I avoided the whole issue.
Yeah, exactly. I can see it's going to be a long year. The punt is going to come down to Hodgson at the 41. He fumbles the ball and gets right down on it. Nice job there by Hodgson, not to try to pick that up, just to cover it and give the Toppers the ball 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
Porter's back in there for Somersworth. The only problem with that play, a failed opportunity to maybe get the ball up by about midfield. But still good field position for the Toppers as they'll take it over at the 40. Big stops for especially Toby McDonald last time for Newport on Somersworth's previous drive. Allowed them 1 first down and then out.
Larry Francor off tackle to Hodgson. Hodgson picks up a couple of tough yards before he's leveled by Toby McDonald, the 6'1", 227-pound senior linebacker. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. 9-6 is our score now.
You'd think that quick hitter to Hodgson might have a little more of an effect, because he just gets the ball, gives it to him right off the wing, nothing fancy.
It's a good idea because Newport is playing 8-9 men within 3-4 yards of the ball.
Exactly.
Francor on the option. Gives it to Hodgson. Hodgson tries to turn the corner. There's no room there. Nice defensive effort by the Newport Tigers to stop Hodgson on the pitch play.
Well, the Newport Tigers are spreading out their defensive line a little bit so that they can try to be ready for the shot up the middle, or in this case, stringing it out to the sidelines. And the scenario for Somersworth of mixing it up hasn't changed. It's just that Newport is reacting to both scenarios.
The Tigers now trying to bounce back from that safety and get the ball back here before we close out the third quarter. 55 seconds left to go. 3rd down and 8. Let's see if the Toppers put the ball up here. Straight drop back by Francor. Francor is going to be ripped down for a big loss. In there for the Tigers is Ron Clough. Nice play by Clough.
Clough, the man who had that big run on the reversal here, pursuing him from the moment he had the ball. Francoeur rolls out to the left, but Clough has got a beat on him, and that's a 9-yard loss back to about the 32. And now Newport looks like they're going to get some decent field position after Brown punts the ball away.
This is what the Tigers wanted, except the safety got in the way. B.J. Stevens and Holmes, and they're kicking the ball away from Holmes. Stevens takes it and is dropped immediately by Ty Cobb.
Little help in there from Jeff Finney.
That's going to do it. That was the last play of the third quarter.
They don't want anything to do with Holmes. And really a heads-up play by Stevens gets him about 3 or 4 extra yards. Ball bounced right up to him.
Teams will change ends now as we've completed 3 quarters here at Somersworth High School. 9-6 is the score. The only scoring being a safety by Somersworth when the snap from center went over the punter's head and rolled out of the end zone.
Reviewing all the scoring at 2:19 of the second quarter, Lever on a 2-yard run, capping a 76-yard drive. The point after by Keefe was good, and Somersworth had a 7-0 lead, and then with no time left, at halftime, Robertson on a pass to Stevens went 16 yards. The point after was no good, and Somersworth had a 7-6 lead at halftime, and then 2:27 to the third, we just saw it, a fumbled snap or a snap over the head of Wojak on a punt try, and that made it 9-6 Somersworth.
Well, one of the things that I usually point out in opening games is, especially close opening games like this, the winning team is going to be the team that's in the best shape. Teams have only been practicing now for less than a month, and some of the players start to get a little bit tired right now, a little bit winded, especially when you have a lot of two-way players like the Toppers do, and also Newport. We're calling a lot of the same names. And the team right now that has been running those wind sprints more consistently.
Survive those double sessions.
Exactly. That's the team that will probably prevail here at Somersworth High School, as we've got a close one. 9-6 the score. We've got 12 minutes left to go. Newport has the ball at their own 43-yard line.
Of course, you know, I think a lot of these players are taking after the pros now, and at least conditioning for them is a 12-month out-of-the-year activity.
Terry Robertson, Newport quarterback, is going to put it up on this first down play, and he's not going to get the ball away as he's hit by 4 Toppers. Dan Porter finally finished him off, but Sevigny was in there.
Lever had the first
Nate
shot.
Dureau.
Lever had the first shot, and he came up a little gimpy. He's trying to walk it off. Take a look at here. 45 gets the first whack at him. He misses. Sevigny comes in. Then Porter finishes him off with Jeff Turgeon in there as well.
Second down and 19 now.
You almost have to credit Robertson a little bit for refusing to go down.
High backfield. Clough and Zulo split to the far side. It goes to Holmes. He fumbles the ball. It's up for grabs. And the Toppers got it.
Second turnover of the game for Newport, as Holmes just fired right through that line the way he's been doing all day, except this time halfway through he forgot to bring the football. Here we go, 44, and who gets the strip? Might have been Eldridge, number 69.
I think so, and that was the right word. Holmes was flying, and then before you know it, he looked back and saw he didn't have the ball.
Well, that's sort of a capsule of the way things have gone all day for Newport. They show flashes of brilliance and then come up with a critical mistake.
Fourth quarter. Off tackle, Hodgson. No running room as McDonald grabs him by the ankles and hangs on.
They've been using Hodgson a lot more now, and even the pitch to Frost and Lever's been a blocker and a decoy. You just get the feeling that all of a sudden they're going to set up Lever for a big gain.
Toppers right now, 10:26 left to go in the ball game, trying to put together a time-consuming drive to put this one away. They only lead by 3. Francor, off tackle. It's Hodgson again. Runs right into the arms of a Newport tackler. Just see him cradle that ball, Jay. Doesn't want that fumble now.
I'll tell you though, Sam, I've seen that through all 3 quarters with Lever. He always, once he gets to that first line, he's got both hands on the football. And he does that for the entire game. It's amazing that he still is able to generate so much speed that way. But that's an excellent habit with Lever.
Somersworth looking to keep the ball on the ground now and test this Newport defense. Who's got the power here in the 4th quarter with 9.5 minutes left to go? Power I formation. Again, Hodgson is the tailback. It goes to Hodgson. He'll try the other side, and there's no room there. Newport really stacking it in. First player there was Dan O'Neill, number 43, and it will bring up a 4th down and 5.
Well, it looks as though at this point in the ball game, they're not taking any real chances. They're going to begin to try to work some time off of that clock, pin Newport deep, and make them put together a long drive.
Nothing fancy here.
No, same thing, just right off tackle. Hodgson, he's been getting the ball a lot in the last couple of drives.
And on this 4th down and 5, Somersworth is going to burn one of their timeouts to talk things over, to decide what they want to do here.
Well,
it's a tough place to be on the field right now. You know, do you go for it, see if you can make it, or do you punt? Troy Brown's been pretty successful and try to angle it inside the 20.
Well, 9:01, it's a little early to think about taking all the time off the clock, but I think they have a real opportunity to bury Newport, so that even if they can come up with a 4th and out, or even give Newport a 1st down and then stop them, they're still going to get good field position. Somersworth is on the next drive. So at this point, I'd almost punt it away and really try to bury Newport. Now, you know what that means, of course. They're going to come up on the 4th.
Exactly.
5, go for it.
9:01 on the clock. 9-6 is our score.
As Larry Carl has been saying, this is a key game for Newport to come up with something. They've got the toughest schedule in Division 4. Their opponents this year went 41-30 last year, so there are no real breathers, including an outside of league game against powerhouse Sohegan. So they've got to get something done today.
Toppersworth going for it. Francor throwing, nobody there. He threw it out of bounds.
Well, I think he saw that Sevigny was double covered, and rather than make any big mistakes, threw it away. You see here, Francor throwing, and not finding anybody. Downing, I think, was the nearest guy, number 7.
Ball goes over on downs to Newport right now. And the Tigers look up at the scoreboard and see they're down by 3.
Plenty of time left on the clock, and when you got Brian Holmes, you can make some yardage real quick.
Topper linebackers, Dave Eldridge and Jason Lever. Quick hitter right over the middle. Oh my goodness, that was intended for B.J. Stevens on the pass and almost intercepted by Eldridge.
I think it caught Eldridge by surprise. He put his hands up to make a block, and there was the ball. Take a look at it here.
One step drop.
Boom. And it goes right to Eldridge when it was intended for B.J.
2nd down and 10. Newport has thrown more on 1st down here in the 2nd half to try and surprise the Toppers, but not with a lot of success. The success for the Newport offense today has been number 44, Brian Holmes.
And take a look at it still, Sam. The defensive line for Somersworth really spreading out.
Robertson, all set to go, calls for the ball. He's going to put it up again. Passes out into the flat, gets it to Holmes. He's in the open field. Look out. Brian Holmes, is upended by number 12, Larry Francor. And Holmes was dangerously cutting across the field trying to find some open ground.
He ran about 20 to get 10, but excellent spin off him. You see here, he gets the ball right in front of Downing. Lever, able to spin back around, and when he gets into this position, he's very dangerous. Finally spun over right to the first down marker, and he's going to be just about an inch short, so it'll be 3rd down and inches.
Holmes is the tailback in the eye. Let's see if Robertson keeps it himself. Takes the snap, gives it to Holmes, 1st down and more. Brian Holmes into Somersworth territory, down to the 48-yard line. And how many times does that happen when it's that short yardage play and they pick up the big gainer?
You love to see a close football game with a battle of 2 outstanding running backs, and that's what we're seeing today. Lever on the Somersworth side, and right here, Brian Holmes, right up the middle. 1st down, excellent field position, and Newport, they don't make any mistakes. They're in business again.
Terry Robertson, 1st down and 10. Newport Tigers trailing by 3. Holmes up the middle. Everybody in on the play there, as everybody was looking for Mr. Holmes to carry the ball.
I was going to say, once to the well, okay. Twice to the well, Somersworth was ready. Still, though, after all that pushing and shoving, about 3-yard gain on 1st down for Newport. They've really taken Holmes and stopped moving him around the backfield the way they did in the 1st quarter, lining up a couple times in the receiver spot at a split end. Right now he's on the wing.
They'll need 8 yards for a 1st down on this 2nd down play. It goes to O'Neal. O'Neal gets by Troy Brown, who trips him up, falls forward for a couple, and it's going to be 3rd down and 4. Like the idea of throwing to Holmes. Getting the ball to him in the open field is a great idea.
Well, if they could catch him in the flat on a slant pattern or something like that, he can really make things happen, as we've seen after he gets a hold of the ball. Key down here for Newport.
Zulo, and also number 20, Ron Clough, to the far side. Big 3rd down play. Newport needs to keep this drive alive if they're to get back in the game. O'Neal, 1st down. Oh, he got a nice block on the outside, picks up 5, and it's good enough for a 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 36.
Boy, that time Holmes helps out, and I don't know if he took out, if it was Lever or it might have been Dave Cook, but gave O'Neal some running room.
Nice big hole.
Just enough to get the 1st down, and the drive continues. So far at this point, it's been turnovers, 2, and penalties that have stopped Newport drives.
Holmes, big hole up the middle. He's going to pick up 7 yards before Hodgson trips him up.
Well, good illustration there of how Holmes keeps those legs high, so the guys who are trying to undercut him, like one of the Somersworth linemen did there, able to keep those legs high and hop over him.
Toppers lead by 3 as we're now under 6 minutes left to go in the game.
The crowd beginning to cry for some defense. They want to see Somersworth make a big defensive play here. It's been a while.
Newport's been gaining positive yards on almost every play in this series. Quarterback Robertson, all set. Holmes, right up the middle. Close to the 1st down, looks like he's got it.
This is very similar drive and in the same direction that Somersworth put together to score their 1st touchdown by Lever. Very methodical, 3 and 4, 5 yards at a time, nothing overly fancy.
And what you have to worry about now is Somersworth packs it into the middle. They'll try something tricky to the outside, and that'll be wide open as the Toppers have 9 men within 5 yards of the ball.
Right now, Larry Carl trying to lull him to sleep.
McNeil cuts it to the inside, picks up 4. Porter in there on the stop for the Toppers.
I guess if there's one thing that you can credit the Toppers with is that no gaping holes have opened. You see there, Eldridge does a good job of sniffing the play out, stopping it from being big yardage.
But right now, Somersworth needs to come up with a big defensive play as Newport is gaining confidence on every play right now as they move the ball down the field. 2nd down and 8, ball at the 24. Robertson on the reverse, coming back. And for no gain is Ron Clough. That's the big stop the Toppers needed, and now there's a penalty. A little extracurricular activity after the play here, Jay.
And it didn't look like it was necessarily anything overly physical. It might have been some words that were said or something.
Personal foul against Somersworth.
I mean, you didn't see any hitting or kicking or anything like that. It looked like almost. Let's see if we can see anything happen after this play.
It looked like they were grabbing for the ball. Didn't see anything there.
So a freebie, and boy, that would make a huge difference, because there you go from 3rd and long, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, to a first down.
Right.
So penalties really haven't hurt Somersworth today until just now, and it's a killer.
Just outside the 10-yard line. Let's spot it at the 11. 4:20 left to go in the game. Newport trails by 3. They're in business now, 1st and 10. Stevens split to the far side. Quarterback Robertson takes the snap, hands it off to O'Neill. O'Neill bangs off tackle and will pick up 3. Porter's there on the stop. Also there is Sevigny for the Toppers and Jason Lever.
That time you got to really credit Sevigny for that stop, because O'Neill was following Holmes, and Holmes was met immediately by Sevigny and was not going to be pushed out of the way, and at that time O'Neill had nowhere to go. Take a look, 86 on the near side. Holmes tries to stop him.
Here we go. It's a 2nd down, ball at the 7-yard line. Newport can get a first down at the 1. Ends in tight. Robertson turns. It's Holmes driving toward the goal line. He won't be there, but he'll have a first down. The power back, Brian Holmes, when it counts, gets a big carry up the middle. It looked like he was close enough to get that first down. They'll bring out the chains, but watch Holmes' power.
Tell you, the only curious thing I saw there was one hand on the ball, Sam, so he's lucky he didn't lose it there in the middle of the pile. But nope, it's going to be 3rd down, and
now they're going to bring the chains out. They're going to take a look at it with 3:34 left to go. It's really academic, because they're going to keep going toward that goal line.
It's the difference between a first down and another couple of yards for a touchdown. 3:34 left would give the Toppers some amount of time to, just short.
An inch. Way short. Okay.
Great shot by our Channel 12 crew.
And right now, Somersworth will pack it in on Brian Holmes. And Newport has chosen to go to number 43, Dan McNeil, as a key, Dan O'Neill, I should say, in key running situations here.
Following the block of Holmes. Well, the first big goal line stand of the season. The first big test for two teams.
Holmes, touchdown. Brian Holmes from 2 yards out. The touchdown, and that makes it 12-9, and the all-important extra point coming up, because the difference between a 4-point game and a 3-point game would be big in this one with only 3:20 left to go.
Fumbled snap the first time Newport got into the end zone. Take a look at it here, just nothing. I mean, we've seen this same replay, it seems, plenty of times, just right up the middle, and look at Brian Holmes.
Well, Jay, you know, Somersworth went for that 4th down and 5. They didn't make it. Francoeur threw the ball out of bounds. Newport takes over on the 30-yard line, marches 70 yards in the 4th quarter to put the go-ahead touchdown. That's impressive.
Just keeps those legs moving until he gets in. Somersworth doing all they can, but just too much Brian Holmes pretty much all day. And Newport has the lead, but they shouldn't get carried away. There's still 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. And as you said, Sam, the all-important PAT.
And it's going to be Wojak Staskowitz is going to be in there.
It will be Wojak Staskowitz.
Yes, and I see him out there right now, and he's ready to go. 3:20 clock stopped.
So 13-9 means it must be a touchdown if they get it for Somersworth. Kind of changes the way you view field position too, and how far you have to go. The Newport bench now getting all excited. They got the hand claps going.
Holmes is going to hold the ball, and Staskowitz is going to try the extra point. All set to go, waiting for a good snap. It's a bad snap. Gets it down. The ball's not going to be able to get off. Holmes is going to head toward the end zone, tosses it up there, and it's good for 2 points. Oh, my goodness. On a broken play.
Is that B.J. Stevens again? Yes, it was.
It was Stevens. And Holmes, after the broken play, got free and was able to toss the ball into the end zone to Stevens for 2. And that makes it 14-9. And the Toppers will need to score a touchdown.
Well, maybe not the kind of excitement that Larry Carl wanted to generate. Take a look at here. Holmes, the snap. It's not going to happen. And good heads up by Holmes there. Just as the Cook was collapsing on him, he picks it up. Stevens is open. And Larry Carl breathes a sigh of relief. Now the key here, Sam, is on the return, because even though Somersworth has shown the ability to move the ball, they really haven't moved it in big plays. It's been a long 76-yard drive was how they got the last touchdown. So it's going to take a lot of these 3 minutes and 22 seconds for them to move down the field.
Dave Cook was just a fraction of a second away of stopping that play. Holmes was able to just keep his wits about him, grab that ball and take off. Yeah.
I mean, we saw the close-up there. The ball is down. He's got his finger on it, and there's 2 blue jerseys on the screen, and all of a sudden Holmes is gone.
Staskowitz will kick the ball off, and back deep is Troy Brown, as well as Ty Cobb for the Somersworth Toppers. We have 3:20 left to go, and Somersworth trails for the first time today now, 14-9.
Tell you, Sam, we're going to have trouble coming up with another game as exciting as this one in the upcoming weeks. We've gotten off to a dandy here.
Back and forth we go. Toppers would love to get a good run back here and get some field position to see if they can put together a game-winning drive. It's Troy Brown at his own 8-yard line. Brown is hit and dropped on a nice special teams play. The kickoff team doing a good job that time.
Travis Ash
bouncing right back to pick up the tackle. So now the Toppers will come to the line as we see Staskowitz take his foot into the ball, and Brown will try nothing fancy. He'll come right up the middle, look for a hole, and it's not there.
Well, the key is he doesn't want to lose the ball. He wants to hold on to it. But yeoman's work ahead at the 27-yard line for Somersworth.
Sophomore quarterback Larry Francoeur directing the offense now with Jason Lever, Scott Hodgson, and Ryan Frost in the backfield. Francoeur on the option. Cuts to the outside, fakes the pitch, gets some open running room. Larry Francoeur down the sideline. What a run by the sophomore as he's down inside the 50 to the 43-yard line of Newmarket. No, Newport, I'm going to say that. I get so excited for the sophomore.
Larry Francoeur, what a run. You see,
there's a flag.
Early on, he holds the ball out. That stops Newport just long enough, and we're going to wait and see what the flag was. But right here, and he just motors down the field. Might have been a clip.
Yeah, it looks that way.
By Lever. The whole thing coming back.
Tough break. But also, Newport had one of those too. I mean, when Holmes was, when that touchdown was brought back by Holmes.
Take a look at 45 right here on B.J. Stevens. Boy, right at the feet though. That looked a little borderline. But nonetheless, and a little bit of an argument from the Somersworth coaching staff. It wasn't as blatant in that look at the play as it was when we saw the close-up replay. But nonetheless, it's irrelevant. So instead of being inside the 40 of Newport, backs it up to the 25 of Somersworth, and the Toppers have to come up with a miracle again.
A big play brought back. Let's see if Somersworth can do it again. We'll go the other side. This time the pitch goes to Hodgson. Hurdles over a player, Jason Lever, and he gets up to the 28-yard line.
So 2 penalties have really hurt Somersworth in the second half. The first one was the unsportsmanlike personal foul. Take a look at this again. Get that little pitch out to Hodgson.
That was almost a forward pass.
Yeah, I was going to say right on the borderline, but just very slow to develop too that time.
2:10 left to go in the ball game. 2nd down and 8. Somersworth needs yardage in big chunks right now. Francoeur back to pass. Avoids a defender. Gets the ball away. Incomplete. Intended for Sevigny. Had him in the hands. It wouldn't have been good enough for a first down.
Oh, but it looks like he had some running room there, Sam.
Yeah, but in a situation like this with 1:56, that would have kept the clock running. Maybe right now you need more plays. But right now they need a first down play more than anything.
I think he had some running room. I don't see anybody else out there. If he had caught that, he would have turned up, and he's a big guy too.
Would have been tough to bring him down in the open field.
And I didn't see anybody behind him, so that was sort of a key drop.
And Somersworth has yet to complete a pass. Now a timeout. Toppers take it. 1:56 on the clock, trailing by 5, 14-9.
Boy, 2 tough penalties though. The 4:20 mark, they've got Newport in a 3rd and 8 situation, and a personal foul makes that a 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. That sets up the touchdown. And then on this drive, big run by Francoeur called back on a clip. But still 1:56 left. Toppers refuse to go down.
Somersworth may be talking about any of those plays you put into summer practice that might be a little out of the ordinary.
Right.
Newport's been playing a pretty straight defense right now, but right now after every play they're going to be sending guys back 15, 20 yards to stop the big play. There's your story here at Somersworth High School on the opener here of the high school game of the week.
And the key is, even with Francoeur now rolling out, the line for Newport has been able to put some pressure on him. So it's not like he can take a 5-step drop and see what's going on upfield. And that may be the difference in this ballgame, is Newport has had that option to go to B.J. Stevens, to go to Holmes in the flat, and Somersworth just has not been able to throw the ball today or catch the ball.
It's a big 3rd down. Derek Downing's in the ball game now for the first time on offense for the Toppers. Back to pass. Francoeur unloads it long and deep. It's up for grabs. It's complete. Ty Cobb inside the 45-yard line to the 41. It's a first down. The drive is kept alive.
And now Francoeur comes back into quarterback. Downing is still in there. A little bit of confusion.
Well, they got to wait. They got to get the chain set. The chains aren't set yet, but now the official rolls the clock. Francoeur stops it.
Good play. Good play. Take a look at it here. Francoeur was making the pass all the way down the field to Cobb.
I think the Newport defender felt he had an interception, and all of a sudden that ball sailed over his head.
He stopped. That's what he did. He pulled up to try to cradle the ball in, and the ball just went beyond him. Take a look at it here again. Here goes Francoeur. But look, he's got a little bit of time. That time the pocket holds, and he's able to get it downfield to Cobb.
Newport reeling after that big Somersworth play. The Toppers are still 42 yards away with 1:46 to go in the ball game. Francoeur back to pass. Lets it go again for Sevigny. This one is going to be incomplete, overthrown. That ball was a little far. Sevigny was open on the short route. That ball kind of sailed on Larry Francoeur.
I mean, still, not that these passes have a whole lot of direction on them. They're kind of up for grabs. But Somersworth somehow comes up with more life.
1:40 on the clock. Again, Somersworth needs to score a touchdown. They trail by 5. Francoeur will go to pass again. Gets the ball away. It's complete to Hodgson. Hodgson's out of bounds at the 26-yard line. We're going to take a break. Newport leads Somersworth 14-9.